And now it's the boys on the hill, Ralph G's and Slim Marshall, with a few special guests tonight. We have three former Jackson State baseball players with us. We have Lamar Briggs, James Sims, and Glenn Walker. And we're all here to give our tribute to Coach Johnson as he approaches his 500 career win. How y'all doing, fellas? Thank you for joining the boys.
Appreciate
What's
you for
going
having us,
on?
man.
Appreciate you
We
having
good.
us.
We
Man.
good.
Oh yeah.
Thank
So
you for
it's
having me.
right. So as I was just saying earlier, we have a dynamic that pretty much covers the 20-year span of coach's career. Myself and Slim played for Coach when he was the assistant coach. Sims was a part of the very first recruiting class when Coach became the head coach. Glenroy played behind that, and Briggs came up behind him. So we're gonna start with you, James. What was your first impression of Jackson State and Coach Johnson when you first met him?
For me, man, it was definitely an experience because coming from North Mississippi, there wasn't a lot of HBCU. There wasn't a lot of talk about HBCUs at all. There was a couple of guys I knew that had went to Alcorn. That was about as much as I knew about HBCUs. So coming down there and getting the experience of playing, with the guys that I got a chance to play with, and just Coach Johnson, man, bringing me in with that first class, starting something new, starting his era at Jackson State, and it was fun, man. Like I said, we had a blast, man. We had a really good team. We competed, night in and night out, man. We played some really competitive baseball. But for me, coming from a JUCO, transferring in, you know, it was cool to be a part of that new page that was getting turned at Jackson State. Obviously, with all the history that was there, and man, he kind of took it and ran with it. And he think about Coach Johnson, and he always does it his way.
Right. What about you, Glenn?
And same thing,
Can you
like
hear me,
coming
Glenn?
from a junior college back in. Yeah, I can hear you. You got me?
All right. Yeah, I'm with you.
I got you. Yeah,
I can hear
so
you.
same thing, just coming from a junior college in California and getting to experience what I didn't know much about HBCUs or anything about Mississippi at the time. And, I just got indoctrinated real quick and it took off from there. I really enjoyed my time there. I love going back. I got to see Coach last year, and it was a good moment for me. It was really cool to just sit down and catch up with them. I follow the team every year. I root for them guys. I've gotten contact with some of the current players, and it's really like a brotherhood and a family. And it's just real cool to see what Coach has been able to do over a long period of time with a lot of different groups of players and different personalities, and the way he brings people together from all over the country, really all over the world. So I'll never forget my time there and everything Coach did for me. So I'm happy for him as he gets close to this number 500 right here.
All right. And same question for you, Lamar.
Yeah, I mean, I came in as a high schooler, straight out of high school. Um, I mean, it was an experience. It was different for me. I didn't know much about Mississippi either. I'm coming from North Carolina. Um, but meeting Coach Omar, I mean, it was definitely a cool experience. It took a little bit of time just to like get used to how he is. I mean, I'm pretty sure y'all know. I mean, everybody here knows.
Right.
So, like being a 17, 18-year-old kid coming into that, it took a little bit of time. But, as time went on, our relationship just grew. It got better. I mean, it's still good to this day. Like Glenn just said, he saw him last year. I got to see him at opening weekend this year. I get to talk to him every now and then. I try to get out there as much as I can. But I mean, my time there it was cool. I really enjoyed it. Looking back on it, I really enjoyed it.
Right. And I had a different experience with Coach. He was the young assistant, like in his early 20s. No, maybe his late 20s. So man, that shuttle run the first time, boy, was like our introduction to Coach, and it was like, yo, this is about to be different. And it was just the structure every day. It was like you knew what was going on once you hit the gate. and you went in the dugout and you looked on the wall, you was like, it wasn't no question about what time practice is. It's not a question about what we doing at practice. You know, and the expectations are spoken, and you know what the expectation is, and it's either you meet this expectation, or you might need to go somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people can't deal with that part of it because it's so cut and dry.
Yeah.
Either you
Exactly.
meet the expectation, or I'm gonna help you find somewhere else to go. I still love you, but this just ain't the place for you. You
Exactly.
know, it is cut and dry like that. I deal with it because I don't have it's no gray area. So you know, but everybody can't.
Nah,
So
I can't.
what were your like when it came to competing and just going out there every day? What were you all guys thoughts about how prepared you were going out to play every day, whether it was individual or as a team? Did you ever feel like you were not prepared to play?
Nah, definitely not, man.
Nah, never.
I think you hit the nail on the head, man. I think that's probably one of the biggest attributes of Coach Johnson. Just like I said, that structure. We've been around the HBCU world. We've seen what it looked like when a team isn't organized, it isn't structured. You know, that kind of that old bad rep that you get sometimes when people think about HBCUs. But that wasn't what Coach Johnson. He was trying to kind of get rid of that stigma, right? Whether, like I said, you're doing individual workouts in the fall, everything's already on the board before you even get anywhere near the field. When you go to his office, everything was already set up. And so I think, as we were talking earlier, just about how the conference has changed, I think a lot of that has to do with Coach Johnson, how he ran his program and, the success that he's had. A lot of these other programs had to adapt. They went out and got coaches that had structure, that could bring in kids from all over the place and recruit kids. A lot of things Coach Johnson had already been doing. And I think, a lot of the benefits that you're seeing in the conference with, the competition level is raising the bar every year. And I think a lot of it attributes to a lot of stuff that he kind of put in place and how he elevated Jackson State. I think it forced those other teams to kind of make a decision if they wanted to be able to compete year in and year out with the Jackson States and the Southerns every year.
Right.
Right.
How do you feel about your teams, Glenn? And we'll go to you next, Lamar.
All right.
Yeah, so I didn't say it earlier when you asked me, but I still to this day be looking back on my time, those 2 years, and those teams I played with as really the best time in my life. I mean, now I'm a father, so having a daughter is really the best time. But as far as before her, those 2 years were special. Yeah, we were coached hard. The structure was there, which was great, but he still allowed us to, he knew how old we were and what was going on away from the field, and allowed us to be ourselves. And we just had a great group of guys. Like James mentioned it. I know Lamar experienced it. Is we had guys from all over the country, so we got to pull culture from everybody, and really get to, as you're growing into men, you get to experience all these different cultures, all these different places. It's all working together, and I still talk to my boys daily. We have a group chat with about 5 or 6 of us, and we literally talk daily. So, and that's what I mean. Coach creates an atmosphere where, you really building lifelong friendships. It's not just something you say or, something you mention here and there. It's really like, people you're tapped in with forever. So, we did a lot of winning my senior year. Swag T is everybody know how Swag T go. It could that's an evil week right there sometimes. But the year as a whole was really successful. Play with some great players, play with some awesome dudes, and to James's point, the structure that coach brings to the table, the way he runs a program, especially being from the West Coast, I see a lot of these West Coast programs is it's run very much the same way. Obviously, the small ball element, but just the organization, the attention to detail, and just like competing pitch to pitch and not taking a single pitch or single inning off. So, he showed no mercy to anybody. I remember he always said, even if we playing the Little Sisters of the Poor, we still got to put 20 on them. So, he's always, pedal to the metal, and I respect it, and I still try to live that way.
Right. What about you, Lamar?
Yeah, I think Glenn just really hit it right on the head right there. I wasn't too far behind you, Glenn. So I think we kind of got the same version of coach in a sense. But like you said, man, like we had some really good talent. I met some of my best friends there at Jackson State. Literally, I was talking to one of my teammates. I was talking to one of my guys earlier today.
I'm gonna call you back,
Um,
Papa.
but just the relationships that we were able to create. I think the biggest thing that I took from coach and our teams that we had in Jackson was just kind of the respect thing and like how to be a young man, how to be a man out there, and how to compete. Like like we were saying earlier, like how to prepare for for our games, how to prepare for battle and everything. Those are really some of the biggest things that I took from coach and those teams that we had because we had 4 really good years there while I was there, and that just all came from coach and him allowing us to be us while following his lead. So I mean, he knows how to put together some really good teams. I'll tell you that he knows how to lead a group of young guys.
Right. And now we have Ray. What's going on, Ray?
What's up, Ralph? How you doing, man? What's up, fellas?
I'm all right,
What's going
man.
on,
Come
man?
on.
Ray is my teammate from back in the early 2000s, man. Coach was he was that young fiery assistant. Ray, what was your time like around Coach?
I thought Coach, like some other players said, Coach was a guy who was like really instilling discipline in us, and I think that the biggest thing that I took from him was just the dedication that it took day in and day out to kind of play the game. We had a couple players my freshman year where Coach came in and Coach was like, "Hey, you're not dedicated. You don't want this, right?" The guy was like, "Coach, I gotta go to church, man. I'm late. Like, I play the choir. I got to play the piano in the church." And Coach was like, "Look, man, either you play baseball or you find something else to do, right?" Like he was all about that business and like whatever it took to be successful, he did that. And so day in, day out, he didn't care if you were a walk on, a scholarship player. He always found time to kind of meet you where you were, enhance your skills, and to perform better. And so I just really appreciate that day in and day out, that work ethic.
Right. And Watts, another one of my teammates. Watts, what are your thoughts?
You on mute, man.
Unmute yourself.
There you
Yeah,
go.
there I go. Man, what's up, fellas? Man, how y'all doing?
What's going on,
Yeah,
man?
man, Coach Johnson, man. Coach Johnson is the one that made boys and the men. I say with his leadership, man, we the way me personally, the way I matriculated through the team and through Jackson State was part of him. He always lent out his house to us, and we was able to when we couldn't go home for the summer, we had somewhere to crash and things like that. So he always looked out for us. I think that's the most important thing. We weren't just, plays in his eyes, but we was like his circus sons. He always held it down for us. He always kept it real. I think the most memorable moment I have with Coach Johnson is I forgot who was playing, but when he found out his mom had passed away, it was like right before a game.
Alabama State.
Yeah, Alabama State, man. And I just was watching the whole time, man. You watch his demeanor, man. I know he was hurt, but at the same time, his eyes were on the prize and on the mission. He knew he had a job, and that's what she would want him to do. So he always been an honorable man and been a man of the word, man. Coach Johnson, I can't say enough about him. I think not only his success at Jackson State speaks about him, but just him as a man. More than anything, I'm glad he's a person at 500. We'll be talking about this again by the time he get 8,000 or get 800. He got a longer career ahead of him.
Yes, sir. I thought I saw Chad pop in. I don't know where he went. But yeah, man, that shuttle run, bro. that shuttle run makes something out you, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. My birthday weekend is the weekend like Labor Day time, right? So I take my brother was at USM on the basketball scholarship. So every year I went to USM with my brother. Every year. Coach said, "Oh yeah, when we get back here Monday, we got the shuttle run." I'm like, man, whatever. It's nothing. Go to USM, we party all weekend. Me and Outlaw. We didn't come back till Monday morning. Go out there to do the shuttle run. We veterans. We don't make it the first time. So I'm like, this is his first week around us. So like he really challenged us from the rip. How y'all gonna be veterans around here and y'all can't pass the shuttle run? Y'all can't pass the conditioning test. So he forced us to step our game up. And it was like, yo, if I'm gonna say I'm a leader, I gotta actually be a leader. I just can't say it. I gotta show it. So, it forces dudes to grow up quick. Like that shuttle run a challenge, man. Like it seems like everything that he does is to challenge you to see if you gonna fold. Like it's almost like he does it to see, okay, if you get in the game, I know exactly what you're gonna do. And I don't know. What y'all think about that shuttle run, man?
Yeah, I know it took me like 3 weeks to finish it.
Yeah,
That's what I know.
the thing.
I ain't gonna lie, I ain't had no issues with it.
Whatever, man.
I swear, I passed it every time.
One thing I remember, the one when he made us run around the cone, the outside the infield, man. I still use that with my young kids, man. That right there, that bring that competitive side out of you. When you going around that horn, go around that crown, right, man?
Them crowns.
Yeah.
Yeah, the shuttle
Hey,
run,
Ralph,
the
I
Indian
remember
run,
that
all
show
that
run you
stuff is
talking
just
about.
torture, man. But it was worth it. I mean, like Ralph said, like it kind of make you take a hard look at yourself and wonder, like, hey, am I cut out for this? Can I do this? It challenges you as an athlete, and so that's all he was trying to do was trying to see whether guys were really ready to be committed to the program and to do what it takes to be a part of it. And that all goes into like developing and establishing like a winning mentality and a winning culture. And so all that stuff might have seemed like punishment to us or maybe a little bit unfair, but like he was trying to develop us into like the kind of players that like epitomize J-State baseball.
I remember I used to ask Coach. I used to ask him like, why are we running distance, Coach, when all we gotta do is run 90 feet? And his response was, look, man, if I ain't make you do it, I didn't care about you. I care about y'all. I care about y'all hearts. So that's when talking about the shuttle run and all that conditioning we had to do over there on the intramural fields, and how tough the conditioning was sometimes. I had to question him about it, but nah, like y'all say, Coach really do care about every kid on the team, every dude he brings out there.
Hey, Slim, bag out the string real quick so I can pull Whiteside in.
All right.
Whiteside, can you hear me? Whiteside, can you hear me?
I got you.
Whiteside. All
I can
right.
hear you.
So another one of my teammates. Oh, this is my brother from another mother. I probably talk to him more than I talk to anybody on this earth. What was your first thoughts of Coach when you met him, Whiteside?
Probably the first time I talked to him, he recruited me out of junior college, and we kind of built a relationship through that. He went to University of North Alabama with my cousin, so they knew him a lot better than I did at the time, and they said he was good people, so I took them at their word, and 20 years later, man, and we still got an unbelievable relationship. And I tell people all the time, I don't work for him. I work with him. You know, because you guys know as well as I do. You know, this dude will outwork anybody in the country, and you know, I'm just so happy and blessed to be a part of this university. You know, this baseball team. So.
And we got old Chad. What up,
Stump
Chad?
in
What's
the
happening?
building.
Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me?
What up,
Yeah,
man?
we can hear you.
Good,
Yeah, we can
good.
hear you. We good.
Boy, I had trouble trying to
So,
get on this thing, man.
You know, it's a
What
hey
you
height
got
man,
for me?
required on that, man.
it
Hey, I
was.
met
You
it.
know, we had to amend the height requirement for you. But
Hey, I
nah,
appreciate
man, just your first.
it.
All right, man, we ain't finna be roasting on here. What your first impressions of Coach when you first met him or when you first started recruiting? Can you
Well,
hear me?
first of all, I was a walk on actually. So yeah, I can hear
Okay.
you. I was saying I was a walk on actually. So he kind of saw me through coming to see somebody else, and that's kind of how that happened. So, but the first time I met him, I kind of didn't know who he was, and when I finally saw him, I was like, "This guy is he mixed?" So I was like, "God, dog." So we went on, and then kind of, you know, he gave me a chance, and that's the type of dude he is. He will give you a chance, man. But just meeting him off real, you know, he been the same guy since then that he is now. So, but that's him all the way. As far as meeting him, it probably just like everybody else. He gonna be himself. He gonna tell you what. He gonna shoot it straight to you. He gonna tell you what it is, whether you like it or not. But he gonna give you the truth.
You're absolutely right. And I was saying that earlier before you guys got on that, you know, he's a straight shooter. You know, he gonna let you know what the expectations are, what the standard is. Either you meet it or you don't. And if you don't meet it, he's probably gonna let you know that this ain't a good situation for you. You might need to go somewhere else. You know, and it's not that he doesn't think that you're a good player, it's just that you don't fit what he needs as a Tiger. You know, that's just how I take it. Then we got Gucci Goo
Mm-hmm.
on here. Fromberger. What it
What's
do?
going on?
What it do, baby? Clay Cole.
You know it. You know it.
Again, what were your thoughts, man, when you of Coach, man?
What's going on, fellas?
What's up, Gooch?
What up? What up? Oh man, what can I say? Well, I know the first thing. When I first saw him, I was like, "Is he Spanish? Is he black?" You know. But then, then he gave me that little smirk. I said, "Nah, he got some black in him somewhere." I don't know. But you know, uh, Anton. Anton and Coach used to get at it. So I used to hear them bickering. Like he was from this Indian tribe and Coach Johnson was from this Indian tribe. Like they got people. And I'm like, so is he Indian? You know? So, that was my first expression. Cause, coming from Atlanta, everything's about, your background, where you from, before it even get to baseball. So, when when I first saw him, it was just like, it's cool dude, man. Like shooting it straight to you. And I ain't, being the type of baseball player, never had a really straight shot to me. You know what I mean? I always the one going through the cracks because I was, a little talented. But Coach, he straight to me. So that's why, originally why I transferred because, just having people like Frank, you know what I mean? RIP, my man Frank, Coach Johnson, and the players, so that kind of gave me that, okay, it must be a good dude if he got all these dudes around him, you know what I mean, regardless of what, what it looked like, this a good dude. And so that's where I got it from, that's what I got from him.
Right. And just looking at all of us, man, the number of us that's come through the program over the number of years, he wanted us to be great baseball players because that's what we were in school for, but he always preached about graduating, getting your degree, get that degree, and go out and be a productive citizen. I think I heard him say that speech so many times, I probably know it verbatim, and I might say it verbatim back to the kids that I coach, but just that part of him letting you know that it was important to graduate made you know that it was bigger than baseball, and you didn't want to disappoint him in the classroom either because you knew he was going to get that grade check. And I think I might have was more fearful of having a bad game on the field than it was having, you know what I'm saying, to let my grades be messed up. And just thinking about it, just looking at this, all of us got a degree from Jackson State. And I'm willing to bet if we was to really do the research, the number of dudes that's come through the program and graduated, I'm willing to bet that number is extremely high. And we talking about engineers, doctors, like we lawyers, we cover the spectrum. You know what I'm saying, of what professionals, educators, we do it all. And we've all come from under coach. I don't think a lot of people give them enough credit for that. So what are you guys' thoughts on just the things and the lessons you learned that were outside of baseball that help you now?
I can kind of speak on that, man. It's every day. I think those probably other than I love going to battle with Coach. I love it because he's a fierce competitor. But work, I know, Raph, you can feel me on this, but working on that field and just going to it every day, man. Just people don't realize how many nuggets that dude carry, man. That dude's a freaking Swiss Army knife, man. He knows it from the top to the bottom, and it ain't just think you know. This is what he's read up on and done, but that man's a freaking Swiss Army knife. So he coaches. In my words, I think he coaches coaches. He's a coach's coach in my opinion, because you can learn life to baseball to whatever. You might be building a cage one day, the next day you might be dragging the field, man. It goes from one end to the next. But the dude, he's in my opinion, he's more than a coach. And if you really just sit down and listen to the dude, man, it's a gem. It's a gem, I promise you. But for that's what I get out of it.
Yeah. No, I think too far as the education stuff too, it just goes back to, you know, what we've been kind of talking about the whole time. When you learn how to be a competitor and when you learn how to compete, you understand it's not, because I think a lot of kids, man, especially coming in HBCUs, coming from a predominantly black school, stuff like that, is, you know, everything is centered around sports. You know what I'm saying? When you're playing that season, that's what you're thinking about, whatever. And, you know, I think with Coach Johnson, with, you know, the way he runs things and that, you know, trying to excellence in grades and making sure you got all your things in order, you know, it's teaching you, like, you know, you're a competitor, you compete at everything. You compete at life. You know what I mean? You compete in the classroom. So you can, you know, and that's, I think those are the things that he was trying to instill in his players, is like, you know, how to be successful humans, you know, not only when you leave the baseball field, taking care of your business in the classroom, and you, like I said, going to school and getting your degree so you can have a better chance, better life, and be able to kind of go forward on whatever that next path is, whatever, you know, your next career or next choice. So I think all of that it kind of all ties into all the things that he was instilling on the field and off the field, with the grades, with the conditioning. It's a mindset. It's not just about baseball.
Yeah, I was going to say, I had two words that stuck out to me outside of baseball, and just, I really never heard of them until I got to Jackson. It was direct correlation. I never heard of that term, but it seemed like I use that term every day throughout the school. You know what I mean? Like, just telling kids a direct correlation, because I know Coach Johnson said, you steal, you'll rob, you'll kill. It's real simple. And, you know, I say that to the day, like, I don't want people cussing around me. I don't do all that cussing. Like, I cuss. Now, do I know you cuss? Yeah. But it's just a correlation. It comes back to it. And that's what sticks out to me. Coach Johnson let my son come on the field. You know, I had a son in college, but he let my son come on the field. You know, it's a tough midweek game or a tough series, but just let my son come in the dugout. You know, he like 2 or 3 running around the dugout, just being around the guys. So that's the stuff that instilled in me, like that off the field, like Josh, I know you want to go to the pros and all of this, but you got to get that degree. You got a son, and you just had to put it in perspective. And that's the real reason why I came back after I stopped playing, and I stayed there because, you know, just trying to soak up much as I can with Coach Johnson. You know, down to the practice schedule. You know, I still use that practice schedule to this day, like increments of minutes. Like I tell kids, you don't come check my board, you're not practicing today, because I might write a word on there and like just ask people what's the word, you know, if you don't come see the board. So I think all of that, you know what I mean, is molding, you know, young men to great men.
Does anybody else want to add to that?
Yeah, like I would say, like I came in the program right when he was an assistant, like in his mid-20s, like Ralph said, as a walk-on guy. But unlike Chad, who was a walk-on, I wasn't very good, so he could identify right away. Like I didn't have a future in baseball beyond college, but he told me like, you're gonna do charting. You're gonna chart pitches and you're gonna chart hitters, and that's what I did when I didn't play. It was about 90% of the time, but like to be able to pick his brain about like strategy and like hitters and like pitchers and like the thought process behind game planning and all that stuff kind of taught me like a different aspect of baseball that I didn't know before, and also taught me like responsibility. It taught me organization and paying attention to detail. It's like somebody who was like 18, 19 years old, having that instilled in you at an early age can carry over when you're like 25, 26, even when you're 30 years old, to want to do that in your own life. And so like, even though I didn't play very much or I wasn't part of the team in that way, like some of y'all guys were, I really appreciated him like taking me under his wing when he was a young guy and identifying like kind of some of the skills I had in terms of writing and being able to analyze some stuff and use that to help the team, which inevitably like helped me like, you know, feel a part of the group, even though I didn't know was on the field that much. But yeah, like doing all that stuff like with Coach Johnson, like picking his brain, like him talk about baseball and why he did the things he did, like kind of like opened my eyes to like, if I become a leader one day, whether it's in baseball or something else, like this is how like I got to approach it, because that's the way he did.
Right. Anybody else?
That man made sure I got a degree, and you know, me in school in Jackson State at one time wasn't the best of friends, and you know, he kind of, you know, made sure that I finished. You know, after I got done playing, then, you know, had an opportunity to do a little bit of it outside of college, then, you know, give me an opportunity to come back and be a student assistant and finishing up my degree. You know, and kind of, you know, piggybacking off what Ralph's talking about, you know, the graduation rate. You know, this man has graduated 92, 93% of his players has come through the door at Jackson State. And, you know, that's just a testament to him. And it's kind of like, you know, we tell guys all the time, if you come here and you don't graduate, you probably try not to. You know, not saying that, you know, they're going to come in and give you a degree or anything like that, but, you know, the resources that's here and him, and, you know, I tell people all the time, man, if he's done what he's done, you know, in any of these other schools around the country, they'll build a statue for him. You know, it's, you know, what he's you know, getting ready to accomplish is unprecedented. You know, and I don't know if there's another active African American head coach in the country, you know, that's going to have 500 career wins, and being able to kind of be in the dugout with him every day and kind of learn and grow myself as a coach has been a true blessing, you know, because I done got it on both ends of the stick. You know, I done got chewed out,
you know, as a player, and you know, he doesn't treat me out as a coach, but you know, it's for, you know, the best of the program, and you know, just kind of being able to relate to the players has been really good. You know, just kind of, you know, letting them know what the expectations are, what he's looking for, you know, because I done been in their shoes, and I think that's a really unique, you know, situation that he does here. You know, he with his former players and being on the staff is, you know, those guys, you know, have a unique relationship with the players, and that's been a true blessing for us. And you know, I'm excited. You know, I'm excited for him and you know his family. He's probably not gonna think two thoughts about it just because that's just who he is. You know, they'll be on to the next game. You know, because I'm not gonna say he could care less, but that's just his mentality. His mentality is down the road and winning championships. And you guys know, you know, that first meeting, you know, the conversation is, you know, the only reason why we're here is to win a championship. And that speech ain't changed in 16 years he's been the head coach. And that's what we talk about every day is winning a championship and doing some things that ain't been done around here in a long time. But man, Ralph and Slim and I don't know if Thomas on here. Watts, man, I really appreciate you guys putting on this podcast, man. It's been, you know, it's been a blessing to just kind of not really, because I think some people thought it was just a Jackson State thing, man, and it ain't. You know, it's a HBCU baseball deal, and you know, for you guys to be able to do that, man, it's just a true blessing to just kind of share, you know, some different perspectives from a players. You know, Ralph coached, and you know, just you know, Slim is like the Stephen A. Smith of the newspaper world now. So, you know, just man, see you guys grow, man, it's been a true blessing. And Sims on here, Briggs, and you know, Fromberger. So it's been really good to see you guys. I got to jump off here in a minute because I got to get
miss
some
Glenn
recruits.
by that much.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I gotta jump off here in a minute. I gotta get some recruits on the Zoom call, man. But I really appreciate you guys doing this, and you know, much love on my end.
For sure, man. We appreciate it. We're gonna keep it up, man.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, man. Just about all of us here coaches, right? What's the one Coach Johnson quote or the one thing that we did at practice you see yourself doing or saying? I started off. You don't have to be good to hustle. That's my number one. Like I probably say that 1,000 times a day during practice when I practice, because you don't, and you got to give them that hard 90, man, or you ain't in the lineup. It's that simple.
Hey man, you just gonna keep popping it up or what? Or is that what you just gonna do? You just gonna keep popping it up? Are you? Because if that's what you're gonna do, man, you're just gonna get out of the cage. You're not gonna keep wasting my time. Jesus Christ, guys, just pop up after pop up after pop up. I'm not gonna deal with it. Is you gonna swing down, stay down through a baseball? You're not gonna hit one or two.
You like you heard that over and over again out there.
Man, that's fact. Yeah.
That's it. Hey, my thing I would say is reading the picture and stealing. Man, when I like open the Holy Grail where I start teaching the little kids Coach Johnson tricks on how to read the picture. Boy, running for days. They don't know. That's why we used to call him Mr. Miyagi.
Oh, teams. I know I do one thing. If I see a pitcher with the ball in his hand, oh man, we get an extra lead. Some teams don't even know. Like I'm like, pitcher got the ball in hand. We looking at the grips. We getting an extra step on first. It's just like if I see his fingers wide, I know it's a fastball. If I see him come together, it's just all the little things Coach Johnson used to teach us. You know, even though I wasn't no hitter, but I was around because I knew I wanted to be a coach. You know, and I knew, shoot, I'm around one of the best, and them dirt balls. Hey, like Coach told me, hey, you can't keep throwing all these dirt balls. First of all, you got Cortez back here. Okay? Cortez ain't trying to block 60 balls a game. Okay, he's just trying to pick it and throw it. So with all these dirt balls, you gotta let it go, my guy. And I'm to this day, you throw 6 dirt balls, I got a pitcher warming up. I win.
Boy, you crazy. Yeah, Cortez was something different behind the plate.
Oh, that's why I had to move to Bravo. Had to go to Bravo because I know Bravo will block. Cortez throwing that one down. That's all he throwing. He don't want to throw no curves. I'm like, Cortez, I can't keep throwing that little 88 up there. Hey, I'm getting older, my guy. Get 2 fastballs to count.
What about you, Chad? You still around them every day. So what's your favorite quote? Or you probably have 1,000 of them.
Core stride, baby. Core stride. Get ready to hit. Core stride. Get ready to hit. Oh, boy.
You got to bend over your legs when you bunt, man. You got to bend over your legs.
Up, down, up, down, up, down. Core stride, man. Ain't nothing like it.
Sims and Briggs. Well, what would be something that y'all heard Coach say like that you kind of take with you now?
I think for me, man, just effort. Like I say, you got to give 100% effort. Like I say, you're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days on the field. You're going to make errors. You know what I'm saying? You're going to have, you're going to stroke it some days you ain't. But, every day you can give 100% effort. Like I said, if you don't do that, man, you're selling yourself short. Baseball is already hard enough as it is. So if you're not giving 100% effort, man, why are you even out here? You know what I mean? So I think that's probably one of the biggest ones for me. I don't care whether it's a drill, whether it's a game, whether it's practice, whatever it is, you need 100% effort.
Yeah, Coach Whiteside said it already about the pop-ups. I'm around a bunch of I'm right now I'm coaching some small kids right now, and it's just tough just watching them not make no adjustments.
I understand that.
It's hard. So you just get in there and you working with them, man. You just like you just gonna keep doing this. You ain't gonna try to do nothing different, huh? I don't care how you try to do something different, but you gotta do something different. You just gonna keep popping this ball up, or you just gonna keep swinging and missing, huh?
Hey, like I tell them, hey, do Uber work. I Uber all y'all at home. You can't make an adjustment. Uber works. I'm Ubering you and the parents home if you can't make no adjustment.
I'm gonna Uber you and the parent home. Boy, you vicious.
Yeah. Gas too high. Hey, we'll Uber you home. They'll make an adjustment real quick because I know Coach Johnson say, make an adjustment. Hey, Coach, some people don't know what that adjustment is. And, hey, put that pressure on them. By the end of the season, they knew what them adjustment was.
Yeah.
You're still playing.
You're right about that. Well, shit. If you could say something to Coach to tell him how he's impacted your life, what would you all say to him?
First of all, I'll just tell him thank you. Like most of y'all said, he gave us an opportunity where most didn't. And then just the things that we've been talking about on here this whole time, the things that we learned from him. Like I said, he turning boys into men. Taught us, like I told y'all earlier, he taught me a lot of different things, a lot of new things about respect, just how to go about my everyday life. How to make a difference, be a difference in the world, be a difference in others' lives. It don't have to be super big. It can be a small thing that someone can just take from you that'll change somebody's life. And that, to me, that's some things that Coach did. He always did. And he wasn't doing it for recognition or anything. That's just who he is. That's the type of person. He was just that person. He cared about people. He gonna do it his way, and you take from it what you take from it.
Right. What
So,
about you? Anybody else that was? If you want to finish, Lamar,
nah, I was just gonna finish it with another thank you. You know, I appreciate Coach a lot. You know, for my time there in Jackson.
Yeah, I feed off of you, Lamar, man. Thanks. Not only just for the opportunity to play, on the team, but then on top of that, just the life experiences that we learned outside of off the field. Like we were tight off the field, especially the year when he was assistant coach. Even though me myself, man, I wish we was playing when he was head coach. Because what he did for us when we was knuckleheads. To be honest, man, we were probably the ones that set the rules for everybody else coming up behind us, man. Because we used to break them. Only thing I ask him is, Coach, can I wear red batting gloves now? I know that was our big thing, man. Me and Kenji, man, we wanted to incorporate that red, man. He wasn't going to let us pass with that. He still won't let that red fly, but it's all right. I'll walk around as a fan with it or something. But yeah, more than anything, though, man, I appreciate him, being the man that he is and being the role model that he didn't even know that he was, but we was watching.
right?
Yeah, I mean, like I guess I would say, like I know last year when the ball club went undefeated in the SWAC, I texted him congratulations, and like really can't tell tone or facial expression through like text messages, but like I could sense in his response like he was like really happy to hear from me because unlike some of you guys, like I don't get a chance to come back to campus a lot because of work and stuff, but like to just to know like you can like call him or text him and he said like remember you and kind of like remember the contributions you had to the program and not only that but like care about you as like a person away from the game and he appreciate like you took the time out of your schedule in your life to like congratulate him on something that he accomplished like kind of means a lot. Like him, I just tell him like just thanks for like just being able to be around him like the time I was around him because like we only get like 4 or 5 years to like be around these people, and so there's not a lot of time to like soak up everything they telling you, and the experiences are like so valuable. Like this, in his office, like talking to him like just about not baseball, but just like life and like the future and stuff like that, and like so many guys I would see like in his office like just come by and say hi, like before class, after class, because they just loved him so much. Like he was a coach, but he was like a lot of guys, like their confidant, their friend, their dad, whatever they needed. That was Coach Johnson. So I mean, like I would just tell him like thank you for being there for like everybody, 1 through 25 on the ball club.
We got Gator in the house.
What's up, fellas?
What up, my man? I mean, I missed the whole podcast.
Hey, man, look, I know I'm a little late, bro. My group me ain't together, man.
I wouldn't expect any other from Al.
Hey, man, you better up, my guy. How you guys doing, man?
What up,
We
cuz?
good, bro. How about yourself?
Man, doing good, man. Just grinding it out.
Yeah, man. We were almost finished. We was going through letting everybody say they thank you. What would you say if you had an opportunity to say thank you, Coach, for your opportunity at Jackson State or your experience at Jackson State?
Man, I just want to, first of all, being there, because coming from a small school, man, not heavily recruited, you don't give me the opportunities. So, I mean, just the fact that, he saw something in me, even though he come to see that guy up top of thing. But that go to show you, man, God don't make mistakes. And just for the opportunity, for one, and just, man, inspiring to be. I think he inspired all of us to be leaders, no matter where we was at in life, no matter what we did, on the field, on the job, coaching, whatever. Man, just own it and take care of it. That's just why I think that's why he made us do field duties. To appreciate your craft and it's your home, and just take charge of it, man. Don't pass the responsibility to somebody else. It's your responsibility. So I just thank you for teaching me to be a leader. So
That was up. I don't know. It's 1,000 Chris that been came through the program, so I don't know if it's Stamps,
If I had a guess,
or
it's
Huggins, or
I guarantee it's Chris.
You
Look,
think, man?
if Gator come first,
Why?
you know,
Why is
Chris
it all my family?
second. Them 2 peas in the pot.
you might have you might be right, Gucci. This probably is Chris Huggins.
You already know it.
These Chickasaw County people.
You can
Hey,
unmute yourself, Chris.
you know,
That
hey,
man work at AT&T and still can't get his phone to work. God, dog.
Hey, Ralph, cause you know, I got
What's up?
test.
What's up?
I knew it.
Oh
So
yeah. All right. Well,
let me go on and say thank you to coach, man. You know what I mean? I know I speak for most of the players, all the players, you know, just appreciate it that you know what I mean, you gave back you know, your time, your extra time, you know what I'm saying, your family time. But just showed us, you know, that we can play the game at a high level and still be respected when you walk off the field. You know, especially a kid from the metro Atlanta area, you know what I mean, not knowing nothing about Mississippi, you know, but what I hear, you know, but just being there, you know, he was one of the ones like, Coach, you need to make sure you get some friends from Mississippi and check out Mississippi, you know, because it's not what you think it is, you know, because, you know, I was very reluctant before I came, you know what I mean? I was like, Coach, I don't know. But he was just like, trust me, if I get you down here, you know what I'm saying, you're going to love it. And that was his thing. Like, if I can get him here, I know he's going to love it. So I just appreciate Coach, you know what I mean, just giving his time back because, you know, I know he wants to call away. And just to see these brothers online thanking the coach, you know what I mean, it's a good feeling, you know what I mean, got that fire in me again. You know what I mean, I feel like I don't want to go throw nothing, but I can go BP.
it feels good, don't it? Man,
It feels good. And last thing before I leave, I want to say we were the inventors of, you know, that pregame celebration, you know, all of that stuff, because Coach Johnson hated it. He hated it. We used to do like this little picture thing. We'll set the picture up, then I'll run by to the group and we'll do like, hey, long as we was winning, Coach was with it. But you lose one game, he like cut all that stuff out.
oh yeah.
I just tell him, hey, I appreciate it though, Coach.
Yeah. I mean, I would say thank you,
That was
man. Just kind of looking back and reflecting back on that time, being one of the first kids he recruited to Jackson State. So it's kind of, for me, I never knew what it was before Coach Johnson. That was my only idea of what Jackson State was and what the program was. And so being a part of that first initial class, man, coming in and getting the new field, we got the new field built that year, and just that pride, that ownership, you know what I'm saying, of being a Jackson State Tiger. That meant a lot. I think, you know, just from what we talked about today, all the things, the biggest thing, you know, thank you is just for that structure and just him being true to who he was, because, you know, most of the guys that's coming through that program, you know, like Josh said, you know, you might not have somebody that's coaching you hard, or you might not have that type of father figure, that type of role model that can get on your level, that can give it to you straight, that can coach you hard about, you know, baseball and about life, but at the same time too, kind of love you through it and give you that freedom to kind of grow into your own person. So I think, like I said, the graduation rate, you know, the all the success stories of all the guys here, you know, all the things, I think though that's going to be his impact even more outside of baseball than the wins, is the young men that he helped mold and him understanding his position, being a black head coach at a HBCU, and understanding the kids that's going to be coming through his program and understanding their backgrounds and getting them to, you know, buy into a system, but also, you know what I'm saying, buy into themselves, so they can come out, you know, men instead of just baseball players. So I think, you know, that's going to be his impact far beyond the baseball field. I mean, he's already done so many things at Jackson State, as far as winning in championships and raising the bar that is Jackson State baseball. So I just want to thank him for allowing me to be a part of that. You know, helping me get to the next step and just help changing the culture and creating something that's going to last a long time.
Right. And Huggins.
Hey, how's it going?
What's going on, man? We
Say what now?
No, we're gonna let you share your experience at Jackson State, man.
Yeah, my experience. Well, thank Coach Johnson for recruiting me. Kind of opened my eyes up. Well, not kind of, really opened my eyes up to introduce it to show what African Americans can do. To be honest with you, I really didn't know of hear about HBCU or anything like that until Coach Johnson recruited me from my community college. When I got to Jackson State, just being around the brotherhood of you guys and Coach Johnson, it really changed my perspective on being proud of who I am and from where I came from. Again, the true perspective on what it is to be a true athlete, African American athlete. But for the most part, Coach Johnson, like I'll say kind of like this, like he has. Well, I'll phrase it like this. Rather than being a thermometer, Coach Johnson was a thermostat. So what I mean by that is instead of reacting to things around you, Coach Johnson, he was the type of coach who actually made changes, changed the temperature, changed the reaction of players around us, coaches around us. And so he inspired me to be more so of a thermostat in trying to inspire change around not only myself, my family, but around my everyday environment. So, when I'm at work, regardless of what I'm doing, I aspire change, positive change, hardworking change. And I thank Coach Johnson for, pushing me, even though when I didn't perform my best, he pushed me to become a better person, not only an athlete, but a better man, a better player, better father as well. So I thank him for that.
All right. Well, I appreciate each of you guys for giving up some of your time with your families tonight to come on and join us, share your thoughts with Coach. Out of all of us, between me and Whiteside, we probably had the longest. I've been around Coach 20 years. And I spent 10 years straight around him. And it started to be a joke around with my teammates that if you was at Jackson, after 6 years, you was on the RAF playing. And it was like, I ended up playing for him. Then I ended up being a graduate assistant. So I ended up working for him too. So I got to see Coach in a different light. And Chad, and you can speak to this. Once you get to working with Coach, you see he seems like he's a little softy sometimes because he'll have some deep conversations with you. And, you'll be on the front of that bus and he'll talk about something. You'll be like, Coach, what? And the next thing you know, he done went from talking about why the buses are the color they are to why the numbers on the street the way it is. And you like, Coach, where all this coming from? And then it'll lead back into something about you being productive and something that can help you in life. And it just, sometimes you just have to listen to what he's saying because he might ramble, or if he getting on you, the tone might be different. But I just appreciate him when I was a player, him being patient with me because, man, we were some wild dudes when Coach got there. Like that group that I was a part of, boy, we was wild. Like, thank God for no social media. You know what I'm saying? Because some of us would have been kicked out of school, man. Like, I thank him for some of the fires he had to put out with us, man. Like, he had to tone us down to focus on baseball because we had such wild campus lives. Like, we would the life of the party on campus. Like, he had to get us to focus on baseball. And that's what we was at school for. But we was like, man, forget it. We finna throw a party tonight. We going to New Orleans tonight. It wasn't about baseball. But he got all of us to focus. And we ended up becoming some good baseball players. I got 2 degrees out the situation. And he told me one time, you don't have to always let everybody know how damn smart you are. Because, when I was young, I I let somebody know. I go there with them, and that stuck with me. So now, a lot of times I just sit in the room and play dumb. I know exactly what to do, but I just sit there and be like, "Well, they don't ask me. I ain't gonna say nothing." And that comes from coach. It's so many things. We all of us could talk all day about the impact he had, and we wouldn't ever thank him enough because all of us are where we are now because he played a part in our life. So I appreciate all y'all for coming on, man. And the crazy thing is, man, how many active, like Whiteside said, how many active black head coaches have 500 wins, or even close, or have a winning record in their career? Something to think about.
Not less than the count.
Right. Hey, Fromberg, I need one of them powder blue jersey, man.
Yeah. Send them out. Send them out.
I need one of them powder blue, my boy. Them things sweet.
You muted, big bro. What you talking about?
Hey, like I be on my Zoom class.
Have you practiced purpose?
Nah, hey, I'm slick now. I learned that from the Mississippi boys. How slick now. But I got you though. Hey, we make it out the first round. I got a power blue for everybody.
Hey, text me the schedule. I'm gonna come to y'all home game.
Well, yeah, because we gotta go like 3.5 hours.
They ain't gonna make you play the whole series down there.
Yeah, all 3 games. I already met all 3 games.